Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. What's happening? This is a Sunday. I want to call it a Weekend Woke because I didn't do a Weekend Woke script. So it's just an AMA, just checking out how you all are doing, see how everyone is doing, answering some questions and such, making sure that the audio sounds good over on the other side, which it does, by the way. And I just want to say thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for not only for tuning in tonight, but for watching the videos and the shorts and checking out Dear Woke Christian podcast as well. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It's very encouraging and such of that nature. So thank you. I really do appreciate it. I see some good people in the chat already. Angel Wings, good to see you. Grace and peace to you, friend, always. And my sister, Joelle, is in the building. Shar Joelle in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you all. Hopefully you all had a fantastic Lord's Day. And I have to admit, I did not catch the sermon today in its fullness. I will be actually going back after this episode to go back and kind of check it out because I did not listen. So don't tell Joel. So don't anybody reach out there and tell Joel that I didn't peep the sermon. I didn't get it in its entirety. So don't tell nobody. Well, on to another topic. But hopefully you all are doing well. We are in the midst of summer shenanigans here at Whitaker Park, and it's been a lot going on, man. From my wife moving her office to my big girl getting ready to go off to not visit, but go to a college for 2 weeks. And then my other one's about to go. Well, my other one is actually at a summer camp. She just comes, it's a day camp. So she's at a college for a summer camp every day. So she'll be going back for week 2 tomorrow. And then in 2 weeks, I think it is, she goes to University of Georgia for 2 weeks and she just stays there. So there's just a lot going on here at Whitaker Park. But good to see you, Kiana. Grace and peace to you, friend. I have water today, by the way, just in case you're wondering. I am not chugging a half gallon of London Fog. That would be crazy, even for me. But it is what it is. I thank y'all so much for tuning in on this evening. Hopefully you all are doing well on your end and such like that. And this was really supposed to be an AMA. However, I do actually have a video. The other day, I did a live. No, I don't need to add a loo to the water that's in my, no. I actually had a joke about that because I went to, everybody knows my good friend from college, Craig, and went to his house last week for Father's Day. We all drove to a Father's Day luncheon. Lo and behold, in his garage, he had a case, probably 2 cases of Waterloo. I'm like, sir, what are you doing? So Craig's no longer my friend now. I gave up on him because of that. You know what? The other day I did a live and we went over a Peggy McIntosh video, then a Mika Edmondson, and then Twisted Sister video. And you know what? There was actually a video I did not address. So I actually can pull this in. All right, I'm gonna leave that right there. So I think we're gonna do a live AMA. I have not actually watched this video. So it's another TED Talk about white privilege. Let's go. But what do we have here? Shar says citrus green tea over here. Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm not even mad at people that drink Waterloo. I think, no, Craig is not. He's not. He needs help. He needs prayer. One, he didn't call me back. So there's another issue too. I called him yesterday. I needed something from him and he did not call me back. So there's actually, our friendship is probably on the struggle bus. So insert struggle bus meme here. Producer, let's see if we got struggle bus sound. Oh, got some drama. All right. So yeah, our friendship is on the struggle bus, but it is what it is. All right. Hopefully you all again had a great Sunday, and I didn't intend to, but I think I might go on and clear this video out of my queue as well. I have no idea how the other day when I was doing the Peggy McIntosh TED Talk, like this is another TED Talk. I don't know how I skipped it. It was in the queue. I don't know what happened. But you know what? I must have forgot about it early on because I didn't even add it to the thumbnail. So it's, what is the Whitaker Talk Show doing? The Whitaker Talk Show will be cooking, and she cooks really well. I hear some pots clanging. Lord have mercy, anything could be going on in there. What in the world? I am bringing you some Blue Spring honeysuckle lemon sparkling water when I come to G3. Good gracious. That's just too many syllables already right there. Like, what about water? Just water. Just bring me some water. There you go. Some water would be great at G3. Which, by the way, if you are coming to G3, please let myself or Rick Caldwell or April Chapman know, because we're trying to, or I think even Berean Babes is coming. I think K-Dub is coming. We're trying to coordinate a live meetup again. And it could be at the conference center. It could be at a restaurant. We haven't figured that part out, but just kind of need a gauge of how many people are planning on coming so we can kind of scope it out accordingly. I think I have a place, but we will see. I might just go ahead and just pick a place that's close to the conference center and then just let the chips fall where they may. I don't know. I have no idea what she's doing. I have no idea what she's cooking for dinner. So we all gonna find out together. Maybe she'll jump on. Maybe she'll jump on and harass me. I don't know. Maybe she'll come in here and harass. Maybe not. Shar Joel, in honor of PETA, is grilling steaks. I agree. I think that's a fantastic. Never can go wrong with grilling steaks. Never. What's your favorite kind of steak, by the way? Mine, as always, is ribeye. And then anything I can find on sale. Ribeyes are usually my jam, and then anything else is going to be what I can find on sale. Because sometimes that's how I get down. Yes, Shar Joel is loving her neighbor one steak at a time. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So I'm assuming that I sound pretty good. And let's just make sure to back the music down. All right. I had some music playing in the background, but I'm going to turn that down so we can listen to this TED Talk. And we're just going to have some fun. I have not actually listened to this one. So we're going to hear it together. Let's go. Real quick, can you just let me know real quick that you can hear that sound from this shenanigan? All right, let's check out the Pasadena Women TED Talk.
I was a college sophomore the first time I heard about privilege, and it didn't go so well. I was humiliated. I was in a class where a faculty member was talking about Black urban families, and she...
Okay, so this is 2016. So when people try to, purport and try to position that, this idea of privilege is fairly new. No, it's not. That's almost 7 years ago. And she said she was a college sophomore. So we're talking, she doesn't look like she's a senior now. So that's been a while. So this little idea, Peggy McIntosh's clownery has been sadly boiling and bubbling for years. I have to admit, though, I never heard of it until I got out of college. I don't know why. At Morehouse and at Spelman, we only focused on Black people. We never mentioned anything about privilege or any of that kind of shenanigans. But let's bring her back in here. Let's go. That's pretty good. Let's go, Jason.
He described characteristics like headed by women, high unemployment rate, underemployment rates, high rates of teenage pregnancy. I don't remember all the characteristics today. What I remember was feeling strangely familiar and confused. How could she be describing the characteristics of Black urban families and me feeling like they applied to my family?
Because somehow or another, these people are so racially myopic and monolithic in their thought process that only Black people have a monopoly on single parenthood. Black people have a monopoly on low incomes. Black people have a monopoly on everything. Now, granted, maybe there could be some arguments about certain aspects of it, but at the end of the day, they treat it like only black people have these issues going on in their lives. And I think that's part of the problem that we see in society today, is that rather than address issues as a true issue, we make it only one person issue or one people group issue exclusively. Like, you never hear the white single parent statistics touted, but you will always hear black single parent statistics touted. I did it again. Darn it, darn it, darn it.
Like they applied to my family.
Oh, there we go.
I didn't quite know how to ask a question. I was a first-generation college student, and I was really nervous, but I raised my hand and took a breath, and I said to her, are there some things that are about urban and not black? Because I'm trying to figure out
That's a good
how
question.
it is that what you're describing fits my white family. She eyeballed me for a minute, and she pointed at me and said, don't you ever compare yourself to a black family. It doesn't matter how poor you are or how underemployed you are. You have privilege.
See, that should have stopped her right there in her tracks. She should have called mom, dad, grandma, come get me from this college, because these people are crazy. What do you mean? Like, the idea that you cannot address the fact that, hey, I was raised poor. This woman right here is trying to say, like, she was raised poor. And this professor is trying to browbeat her that she had privilege. What are you talking about? This is exactly why nobody takes them seriously. This is exactly why they have to continue to keep pushing the goalposts and keep changing the definitions on and on and on, because they're insane. This is lunacy. Let us continue.
Because you're white. Well, I was horrified. I could feel my face flush, and I looked down at my book, just staring straight ahead. Someplace between, can I crawl under the desk here, or do I just hit her and leave?
Why was that the only two options? That's something else I've learned in my adulthood, is that the Lord gave us 26 letters of the alphabet because there's that many options available. Yeah, you could crawl under your desk. Yeah, option B could be that you punch her. But you know what option C could have been? Get up and walk up out of there and go talk to your dean. Go talk to the head of the department. There's a lot of different things that you could do. Those are not the only two options. I hate that we make it some binary where you only have one or two options. No, you don't have to put up with abuse. You don't have to put up with foolish shenanigans like this. And clearly she embraced them, because we're going to see in a second. I'm assuming. So I don't know. Maybe she stands up against it. Let's see what happens. I'm not holding my breath.
You want to talk about poor? So I breathed, and I sat there for a moment, and I was really confused. I had no idea what that was about. I had no idea that day of what Peggy McIntosh calls the invisible package of unearned benefits.
The reason you didn't know about it is because Peggy McIntosh made that foolishness up. She made it up. She said that she prayed and yelled at God, tell me where I have privilege, or tell me where I have an advantage. And she came up with these ideas over 3 months, period. See the last video for the actual verbiage. Peggy made it up. A lot of the things that she's saying, she's assuming that black people can't get loans. She's saying that black people can't get a job, can't start businesses, can't can't intermingle around other racial groups. That's bias. That's racism. Peggy has racism. So what Peggy did was take the burden that she was feeling as a sinner who is unregenerate, has not turned over her sin debt to Christ and taken on his righteousness, put on his yoke, which is easy. Instead of that, she's put it on everybody. She multiplied it. She put it in the copy machine and just gave everybody who's less melanated the same burden so she could feel better. Like, oh, everybody's weighted down. Oh, that takes my burden off of me. Peggy McIntosh is racist. That's it. She doesn't esteem. She looks at people of high melanin lesser. And she just called it the invisible knapsack. Catch me outside. Dear Woke, see you at Gmail.
White privilege, the invisible package of unearned benefits. Now, I was an emancipated minor at 15. I didn't have health insurance. I didn't have dental insurance. If I had to go to the dentist, I had to work at a $25 a month gig in order to get a tooth fixed.
So the woman already knows that she did not have a privilege. Black people have the exact same experience. If you don't have health care, you got to have a job in order to get health insurance. When you might have to pay a copay. They don't have a monopoly on, I'm sorry, we as people of the high melanated group don't have a monopoly on poor. People of less melanated do not have a monopoly on good financial decision making. Just think about that. Play that thing all the way out. Do you know a white person that doesn't make good financial decisions? Do you know a white person that's strung out on drugs, that came from a broken family, that has bad relationships with jobs and so on and so forth? Do you know that? Do you know that person? Do you know a black person who is the opposite of that? This doesn't work. It's insane. So the fact that you're regaling Peggy is proof positive that you've not thought about, in deep thought, how Peggy is wrong. Because Peggy is wrong. Not because Jason is saying it, because observable reality tells you that it's wrong. I mean, an atheist can see that what Peggy said is wrong. You don't even have to be a Christian. You don't even have to lean on the 66 books of the Old and New Testament to see and look at, yeah, what Peggy said is wrong. That's stupid.
In fact, at that point in my life, I didn't have a home address or a home, and I was worried when school ended and I had to clean out my dorm room what I would do with my things, because colleges didn't let you keep your stuff there all summer. They rented those rooms out. And she said I was privileged.
The fact that you let her put you in that quandary. Now, we can say all day long that American, even the poorest of America, is probably better off than in some countries. But that's not what we're talking about. She's talking about American versus American, the light skin, the less melanated, and the highly melanated. That she should have pushed back. That professor deserved to have that pushback. The students in that class deserve to hear you say, no, that's not true. All black people aren't broke. All black people aren't rich. All white people aren't broke. All white people aren't rich. Come on, it's not a zero-sum game. It's not. And the students deserve to hear that pushback. The professor deserved to have his or her thoughts challenged.
I couldn't get my hands around any of that at that moment in time. But come back to the invisible, unearned package of benefits. At some level, the professor was right. I couldn't get my hands around it at that point. I wouldn't live into that for a long time. And this is the place where the conversation for people who look like me and with people who look like me can get a little difficult. We have to be able to breathe through our defensiveness about the fact that that's not talking about me. That's not talking about me. But I promise you, if we can do this and unpack that privilege, we can.
What privilege. I would absolutely love this woman to take Peggy's essay and say, here, point number 32, I have this privilege. Here, point number 24, I have this privilege, and explain it. I would love it. You know what? I think I'm gonna pull it up while we're talking. Because I'm sorry, like there's no way that this happens without someone being challenged. There's no way that this doesn't, that this will continue unless somebody challenges it. And I'm here for that.
Can make more space for a more humane and just world. So if skin privilege is unearned, it often manifests itself in unconscious ways. Let me give you a couple examples.
Give me an example.
My daughter in junior high was going to go out for the dance team, so I had to go to the parents' orientation. And I walked into the back room, and there was this huge table of stuff that she was going to have to purchase if she made the dance team. They had matching hair pieces, matching makeup for real with all the same palette, and matching flesh-colored hose. When the coach held up the flesh-colored hose, what I became aware of was it only matched the flesh of about a third of the girls in the room.
Okay. That is a reality. As especially, I'm highly melanated, so President Firstborn is my color, and Chief Executive Secondborn is a little lighter than me. So as Prince would say, butterscotch chocolate. Okay, and my wife is butterscotch for sure. So yeah, you're correct. The pantyhose don't always match every skin color. Got you. Come on though, come on. Like literally the high watermark that this woman is going to use for privilege is that there are not multiple colored pantyhose for girls on the cheerleading team. And we should burn down cities. We should riot. What's it called? Spanx for real. Like really, for real. That is the biggest issue when we're looking across the culture and every issue that we have. High school girls don't have the same color pantyhose. And she brought that up though. That's the thing. She brought that up as her example.
So what about that makeup palette, and what about those hair pieces?
Same thing about
Could I ever?
So what? So what? It's fair to say, I'm just going to go out on a limb. If baby girl is in high school, the likelihood is that she has been in some type of what is it called? It's called dance, but some kind of cheerleading. This is probably not the first day in it. It's probably not her first day of being in cheerleading. It's probably not. I'm going to go on a limb. With that going out on a limb, I'm going to also go out on a limb and say, I bet you that though the coach showed, yes, the majority white girl skin palette, white girl pantyhose, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I bet you that same coach would not bat an eye if dark skin or caramel skin girls wore a different color palette because it didn't match. They don't want to look like doggone stand out. I'm going to go on a limb. I don't know. Thank God I don't have dance daughters and such like that. But for real though, this is what they use as their reason for us upending all of society. All of society must stop, pull out the key, slam on the brake, because a coach showed a neutral color palette at a dance orientation.
Get a hairpiece in this. Before the Ebony Card series came out in many of the stores, when a black or brown child went looking for a Mother's Day card, all they could find was one with a picture like me.
That's a producer, please beep that word out. That's a whole bold-faced, unequivocal lie. I have been getting Mother's Day cards for my mom and women involved in my family for decades. I was getting little brown Mother's Day cards for my mom when I was a child. You can kick rocks for that lie. You're a whole lie. You're a whole lie. I'm sorry. Nope. That's a lie. And this woman is just, and the bad thing is, she's only sharing lies that Peggy told in her book, in her essay. Peggy said that black people can't find Mother's Day cards that look like them. For real? Are you honestly saying that? And she's just regurgitating the same filth and foolishness that Peggy gave. This is dumb. Jason, why did you do this? I'm mad at you, Jason.
I have a 3-year-old mixed race granddaughter. In my own home, she asked her mother to blow dry her hair straight so she could see how long it was. She walked out of the bathroom and looked at us. She shook her head like this. and said, "Look, Nana, I look like a princess."
I got two brown girls. Actually, I got three because their mom acts like them sometimes. I I don't believe that because I'm sorry, black girls' hair is the most versatile hair quality. Period. They can do magic with their hair. I'm sorry, they can do amazing stuff with their hair. And because they can straighten their hair, or they like it long, or they want to put braids in it, or they want to wear it natural, they want to put in puffs, fill in the blank. Because of that, that does not diminish anybody. It doesn't. It doesn't. And I got two of them in my house right now with braids, and the other one's hair is natural. And it doesn't diminish them one iota. It doesn't take anything. One of the problems that this crowd has is that they look at things as a pie, if you will. If somebody is enjoying themselves, they must have too much pie. And somebody's not enjoying themselves, then they can't have enough pie. Rather than saying, "Hey, I'm happy with what I have." And rather than Nana telling her granddaughter that, "Baby, you got some versatile hair. You have what others don't have. That's amazing. That's wonderful. That's great." Rather than that, what do you want? You want all white women to get curly, kinky hair? Like, what do you want? It's not going to change. But then even more than that, why should it? Why should it? I wouldn't want my daughters to have I wouldn't want every woman to have the exact same hair texture. That's silly. And we all know that it is silly. So then therefore, why why lament because some people's hairstyles are different? Why? Why not just say, "Praise God, baby, your hair, you do look like a princess." Absolutely. If you want to call her a princess, you can call her a firefighter. You can call her a truck driver. You can say, "Baby, you look like a short order chef." It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. You can be a kinky hair princess just like you can be a straight hair, second order, second line cook. The exact same thing applies. But see, we just want to lament anything. We just want to bellyache about whatever we can. All right, let this woman finish, Jason. Okay.
What messages had she absorbed as a 3-year-old that convinced her if her hair was long and blowing in the wind, it was princess hair, but her beautiful, curly, natural hair didn't count as princess?
That's not true. That's not true at all. So what? Well, you know what? This was done in 2016. Ask Disney now, how's that worked out for them? This attempt to, rather than say, "Hey, there's certain kinds of princesses and there's other kind of princesses." Rather than that, ask Disney how's that worked out for them. It hasn't worked out well. It hasn't worked out. To say that the only valuable princesses are white princesses, rather than saying like, "Hey, we could start an entire thing of other princesses." It hasn't worked out for them. Ask them how Little Mermaid worked out. Rather than saying, "You know what? Ariel is over there with her red hair and her less melanated skin. Now we have another princess over here with her dark skin and kinky hair," or whatever you want to do. They could have done something different, but they didn't. Ask Disney how this worked out for them. It didn't work out well. The Little Mermaid tanked at the box office. It didn't do well at all. And at the end of the day, people realize, yeah, you can do representation till the cows come home. But everybody knows good and doggone well they ain't not a mermaid. I can't sing under sea. I don't have a crab and a flounder as a friend and a beatboxing bird. They know that. So representation is silly. So again, especially with fictional characters, what's the purpose of that? And then to take an established character, because all Disney says is that the only valuable characters are white characters. They did that with Miles Morales. I understand y'all love Peter Darker, but please understand what they've told you is that the only valuable character is a white Peter Parker. And the only way we can make you interested in Spider-Man is by taking Peter Parker, putting him in the microwave, put him on a little extra dark, kinky up his hair, and then give you Peter Darker. Catch me outside. DearWolkC@gmail.com.
Princess hair, right?
No.
You can look at the data for yourselves that's all around us about how those unconscious messages feed into media, feed into the targeting of people of color. And so why is this conversation important? Why is it important to me? At the end of the day, this is a conversation about humanity. This is a conversation about love.
You can make it a conversation about chicken and collard greens. You can make it a conversation about Adidas versus Nike. You can make it a conversation about West Coast and East Coast rap. It doesn't matter. What you're saying is still stupid. And you can say it's whatever you want to and make it sound as noble as you would like to and care to and get your finger. You can be as noble as you want to. But man, what you're still saying is still ignorant. It is. It's not going to change anything. But even more than that, a better question is, should it change? Should what you're talking about actually change? And therein is the problem.
Every day, my whiteness is reaffirmed in multiple ways.
So
Quite know how to ask a question. I was a first generation
I did it
college
again,
student,
y'all.
and I
Y'all
was
pray for me. I have no idea how I keep doing that.
convinced her if her hair was long and blowing in the wind, it was princess hair. But her beautiful, curly, natural hair didn't count as princess hair, right?
I'm going to move on from that. I can't believe I backed it up again. This is just a regular occurrence of foolishness. I'm going to have to get a better job. I have to do a better job at that. However, listen to what she said. She said every day her white privileges are reinforced.
There are things that point out to my grandchildren that they don't fit whatever we decided norm was, right?
That's not true.
This is a conversation that's important to me because I believe if we will unpack our privilege, we can use it to change the world, not in the huge way I dreamed of in my 20s, but in the day-by-day acts. I've got to be willing to listen and hear and see and act on stories that sometimes feel like they're blaming me, sometimes do blame me, sometimes make me uncomfortable. But do you know how many of those stories my colleagues of color have heard? Well, people in the room looked right at them like they were about them, right?
I need to know more about what are you talking about. But okay, let's just play the game. Let's just play the game. And I don't know why I don't have Peggy McIntosh's, and I had it saved. I have no idea where I did with it. But I just think it's interesting. Like, why live like this? Why would you want to live in this type of quagmire that you're never going to ever be able to do enough? You're going to have to unpack your white privilege and do away with power structures and so on and so forth, when in fact somebody maybe doesn't do those things. I found it. Like, I'm just going to pull in because I really believe that this type of shenanigans at the end of the day is what breeds racial inequity. This is the type of stuff that breeds racial inequality because you treat people as if they are a monolith, as if she said her coworkers of color. So are you saying that every black person has that experience? Be careful, because I think we all know that's not the case. But I'm gonna let her finish, and I'm just gonna pull up a random example of Peggy's privileges that people should unpack. How did we get here? How did this become a thing tonight? I was just going to talk and ask questions and have fun.
That's why it's important to me.
See?
I think about a month ago, a 15-year-old black girl was riding her bike. She hit a car. Some of you may have heard about this. Nobody was hurt. She got up. She waited for the police to come. In a situation that escalated, that my chief would say wasn't handled well, She was handcuffed because she didn't want to go to the hospital, put in the back of a car, and then pepper sprayed through the window. How many of us sitting here today have to worry that when our 15-year-old daughter goes out?
Okay. I want to know a whole lot more about that situation before I get into any kind of feelings. But remember, this cult wants you to respond with emotion well before you deal with facts. She just said, notice she said the situation wasn't handled well. What happened? Like, give me more details. If you're going to give me that story and you want me to make a informed decision, you want me to side with you, then you have to give me all the facts. I think we all know, as sure as today is Sunday, that she did not give us all the facts. I'll go as far as say she probably didn't give us a quarter of the facts that led to this situation. I'm going to go on a limb, but let us go.
For a bike ride, she's going to end up in the back of a car, handcuffed and pepper sprayed, and I might add, terrified.
Yeah, man.
So how do we make this different? How do we use our privilege? Martin Luther King said, until you are all you can be, I will never be all I can be. I am certain.
That's not true. That's not true, though. Because Martin Luther King said it doesn't mean one thing. You could have said, anybody said that. That doesn't mean one thing just because MLK said it. I don't care. Is it true, though, is the matter at hand. And if what he said is not true, then therefore it doesn't apply to you. It doesn't. Now, I do want you to do your best. I do want you to be the best that you can be. That does not limit me, though. It doesn't impede me from doing what I should do just because you won't do what you should do. That does not mean the same thing.
And those of you sitting in the audience today that have listened to these talks and resonated, believe until you, whoever your you is, are all you can be. I will never be all I can be.
That's your fault
In
for believing that.
1967, there was a huge uprising in Detroit. My grandma worked downtown and she couldn't go to work for the week because of the riots that were going on. When she could go back in next week, she took me. There were buildings that were burned. There were all kinds of, there was a man sleeping in the window of a building. And I said to her, look, Ma, look at that guy sleeping in the window. My grandma pulled me over and she said, pulled the car over and she said to me, look, you're more fortunate. You may be better than, and you may be more fortunate. You have food to eat, a place to sleep, and people who care about you. That makes you more fortunate, not better than. I had no idea what she was saying to me as a 9-year-old. And I kind of looked at her and thought, okay.
But by her saying, look, there's somebody asleep in the window, how is that saying that she's better than them? She's pointing out an observable fact. It's like me saying, hey, look, there's a woman standing on the stage with an orange blouse on and a rust-colored jacket. That doesn't mean I'm saying that I'm better than her. It's saying, it's observing, maybe she's never seen that before. That doesn't mean anything. See, but you've already read into this, ma'am.
What I understand she was saying to me is, I might be more privileged, but that doesn't make me better than. Today, when we hear about the Black Lives Matter movement, it polarizes people.
Because it's Marxist. But watch this. Let her
want to
continue.
yell White Lives Matter. I was on campus at a Black Lives Matter die-in when students started yelling down the hall, White Lives Matter. Let me say this. The Black Lives Matter movement wasn't anti-white.
What was it?
It was born out of the desperation and pain of too many lost boys and men.
It can't be. See, she's regurgitating the foolishness that she has ingested, because if that were true, Black Lives Matters would have started decades ago in inner cities, because there's far more black boys, black men, black lives taken in inner cities by black people than there are ever going to be from whites, ever. I'm just saying, if you cared enough, that's what you would be rioting about. You would be upset about. You'd be protesting about. You'd be marching about the fact that we kill more of our own people. Period. End of day. Catch me outside. DearWokeC@gmail.com.
Too much invisibility, too much inequity. Black Lives Matter isn't saying white lives don't, it's saying black lives don't matter enough. Let's face it,
No, it's not.
my
That,
son, when
that
he gets
can't
in the
say that. It can't say that. BLM cannot be saying that black lives don't matter enough. You know why? Because one of the things that BLM stands for and desired to see was the dissolution of the nuclear family. That is the worst thing. That's the worst blight to happen to black people. Period. No, it's not. The most worst thing that has happened to black people is abortion. By the way, Black Lives Matter is supported by Planned Parenthood. Ma'am, what you're saying is ignorant and insane. Black Lives Matter does not care about black lives. If they did, they would be doing something about black lives that take black lives. They wouldn't be supported by the organization that kills more black babies in New York City than our black babies are born. DearWokeC@gmail.com. If you have a question, concern, or comment, or argue with management, please feel free to let them know. Black Lives Matter doesn't care one iota about black people. They don't. They don't. Period. Now they can riot and get upset, oh, blah, 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 whatever. It doesn't matter. It's still the truth. It's still the observable reality that you don't care about black people. If you cared about black people, you'd want the best for black people. You wouldn't want black people, brown people, yellow people, red people, white people, any people to do things that deliberately diminish and make them worse. So Black Lives Matters, kick rocks, all of the rocks, from here to Neptune, kick them all. Because you don't care about black people. You don't. DearWokeC@gmail.com.
car and goes out of the house, I don't have to worry all the time, except like we all do about driving. When my daughter goes shopping in the store, no clerk is going to follow her around.
Okay, this woman is literally, please, you know what? Here, let me drop the link. Okay, I'm gonna go over Peggy's. Okay, I'm dropping a link to this Peggy McIntosh's Invisible Knapsack. This woman is literally reading off. She's memorized Peggy's 47, 50 things that are in the white invisible knapsack. Like she's literally memorized them, and she. Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll look at those in a second as well.
And people really, mostly, I don't have to worry that they're going to be afraid of me because of how I look.
I don't know. She looks a little bit scary. She does look a little bit scary. She looks like she wants to see the manager for sure. So she does look a tad bit frightening. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not I need to speak to the manager type of dude. So she does cause me a little bit of heart palpitation. So let's keep this moving.
Every time
that haircut.
He goes out to the car, every time he steps out of the door, I worry. I know his mama worries. I know now my wife worries. My daughter worries. I have been with him in the last decade on numerous occasions that he has been targeted for nothing more than being black.
Wait. I missed something.
In our house one day. They were living with me.
Back up. Who's she talking about?
My wife.
All right, back that up some.
All the time, except like we all do about driving. When my daughter goes shopping in the store, no clerk is going to follow her around.
Okay.
And people really, mostly, I don't have to worry that they're going to be afraid of me because of how I look. But my son-in-law,
okay.
Every time he goes out to the car, every time he steps out of the door, I worry. I know his mama worries. I know now my wife worries. My daughter worries. I have been with him in the last decade on numerous occasions.
I'm sorry. and hear me, man, I am a whole black man. And I live in Cobb County, Georgia, where people act like they all kinds of crazy shenanigans happen. And I've never had these experiences that people talk about. I don't know what they're talking about. I really, truly don't. And have I been pulled over? Yeah. I actually got my first speeding ticket in Cobb County. First speeding ticket ever in Cobb County. And guess what? I deserved it. Man, sometimes we got some straightaways here, boy. Your foot gets heavy, boy. But again, I deserved the speeding ticket. Wasn't because I was black, wasn't because of anything else. Again, like, I'm sorry. This chicanery, this self-loathing, this desire to self-flagellation, to just make yourself something that you don't need to be, it's tiresome. Who lives like this? Who lives like this and enjoys God's creation? I would love it. You know what? There we go. Who actually, can you please point to me, if you're in the chat or you're watching this on the replay, can you point to somebody who espouses what this woman teaches, the invisible knapsack, and has joy in their life? I would love to see that. I would love to see. I know I have joy, and I enjoy what God has given me, from these beautiful girls and my wife, to our home, our jobs, the wonderful family and church family that we have. I enjoy all of that. And I never think about the fact that some of the people in my church are white. Some of these people that my neighbors are less melanated. I never think about that. But I would love for you, if you could, show me a video, point to me a video, dearwokec@gmail.com, of somebody who espouses this teaching, but yet loves God's people. Loves God's people. I just want to see, because to me, the contrast seems like it would tear open the space-time continuum and cause like some craziness or something in the multiverse. So can you please show me that? Somebody that espouses what this woman is teaching and saying in this TED Talk, but then on the same note, they love God and his people.
That he has been targeted for nothing more than being black. We were in our house one day. They were living with me. We jumped in the car, forgot our wallets. He got out to go back in the house and get his wallet, ran back and got in the car, and as we went to pull out, we realized there was a police car blocking the driveway. And the police was coming out to Gentry's side of the car, and they asked him for his, first they said, "What are you doing in the house?" And he said, "I live here." And then the officer asked for his driver's license. And at that point, I leaned up and said, "Is there a problem? This is my house and this is my son-in-law." And he got back in his car and drove away. And I could take the rest of the time today to give you those kinds of examples. But
No, we don't need you to do that, because I got a bad feeling that story didn't happen. I'm going to go, is it possible? There is a possibility. There is a possibility. However, I don't think it happened like that. I guarantee that man did not just materialize at the driveway, walk up to the window, give me a driver's license, "Oh, you live here," and walk away. I guarantee that did not happen like that. Again, I'm just going to go on a limb. Most of the time, when we want to emotionally charge an audience or get somebody to believe our side of the story, we very rarely give all of the story. And I'm going to go on a limb. Not all the story was told in that example there either. It just wants you to think that police are running around here just bugging on black folk, and it bolsters her case that her son-in-law is, she's worried about her son-in-law, so other, whatever. Yeah, I'm going to go on a limb and say that didn't happen.
I have a 7, 5, 3, and 1.5-year-old grandchildren that he's the daddy. I have a niece and a nephew in this audience today.
Okay.
That kind of scrutiny and that kind of risk is something they face every day of their lives. And I know as sure as I stand here, we can make that different. We can change.
But I have brown babies too. Newsflash, I'm black. I do not spend nearly 10 minutes thinking about that a week, about the fact that I'm black. I do not do it. I don't. And the fact that you spend that much time, ma'am, your life is miserable. Your life is miserable. That's why Christ said, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Ma'am, Peggy put a huge burden on y'all, and y'all keep carrying it around. Just flip it off. Just flick it off your shoulders. You don't need it. The burden of our own sin is enough. I don't need the burden of your made up, phony, false, and fake sins to burden me down anymore. I'm putting all of that on Christ. And ma'am, this right here, you're making some of the grossest presumptions possible to make your case. Let's get done with this, because I'm going to look at some of Peggy's shenanigans, and we're going to see what this lady's got to say.
Change the world if we can understand our privilege, unpack that, and engage across communities. Because if we want a more humane and just world, and I got to tell you, right now we're in pretty tough shape around that stuff. We can't throw up our arms and walk away. It's not going to benefit our children or any of the children who come after our children. It's not going to benefit our aunts and uncles and our parents. It's on us. It's time. That's
What?
right. It's time.
What is time?
It's on us
To do what?
to understand that daily process of unpacking that invisible, unearned package of privileges in service of a more just and humane world. It's time.
I have no idea. That's such a huge burden. The fact that people want that to be true. I'm going to go down with the ship that, ma'am, I don't want that. That's not what I want. I don't want a person who is less melanated to do anything more than be who Christ has called them to be. I want you to turn to Christ. I want you to get rid of the sin that is in your life. And I want you to hold on tightly to Christ. That's what I want for those who are less melanated. Wait, I also want it for the brown people and the yellow and the red and the black and the green. If we find people at the bottom of the Mariachi Trench, I want that for them as well. I want you to love Christ and be who Christ has made you to be, not chasing after this never ending, always evolving, chase your tail of foolishness, AKA the backpack of invisible white privilege. I don't care nothing about it. If you might actually have an invisible backpack on. I can tell you what's in it though. Sin, a whole bunch of sin, all kinds of sin, all kinds of sins. Big sins, little sins, fat sins, skinny sins, black sins, white sins. There's a lot of sin in your backpack. Why don't you let that go? Why don't you give that to Christ? Why don't you give that to Christ? Because keep in mind, when they make this foolishness about white privilege, there's no black privilege. There's no sin for black people. You do realize that. What is the sin for black people? How do you tell a black person to come to Christ? I would love for that lady to explain it. Peggy McIntosh professes to be a Christian. So I don't know what the gospel is for Lady McIntosh. I don't think there is a gospel, actually. But I'm here to pick a fight today. So now we're going to look at this. We're going to look at my girl's invisible knapsack of foolish chicanery. All right. I'm just going to go page 3. I mean, the middle page. This is a white privilege. This is something that only people of the less melanated crowd. So if you are a less melanated person here watching this video, only you can do this. Nobody else can do this. Only you. So we're going to go jump to 11. I can arrange to protect my children most of the time from people who might not like them. Yeah, only you. Only you. If you are a less melanated person, you're the only people that can do that. That's part of your privilege in your white privilege knapsack, whatever, foolish, whatever stuff. Okay. 23 from Michael Jordan. I can choose, here's here. I can choose public accommodations without fearing the people of my race cannot get in or will be mistreated in the places I have chosen. Only white people can do that. Only white people can. Only white people can make reservations for restaurants or camping trips, hotel reservations. Only white people can do that. That's what she said. Let's see. 16. That was when I got my driver's license. We're talking about driving. Let's go here. I can remain oblivious of the language and customs of persons of color who constitute the world's majority without feeling, or rather feeling in my culture, any penalty for such oblivion. So let me ask you a question. Because only white people can do this. Only white people don't need to learn another language, okay? Because that's what Peggy said. I actually have heard her say that. So only white people don't have to learn another language. So if you're highly melanated here in the chat or here in the United States, how many other languages do you speak? Because I speak all of, I only speak one. So, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I know I should. I just don't feel like learning another language. I don't. I don't. So therefore, I guess, how does that work? Because only white people, according to Peggy, only white people have to worry about that or can do that. I'm sorry, only white people can do that. So I guess maybe like in my knapsack, I guess I got some whiteness in there or something. How does that work? Yeah, is it called the Mariachi Trench? What is it called? What is it called? I did say mariachi. What is it called? Is that called the Mariachi Trench? I don't know. Anyway, if we find people in Atlantis, how about that? If we find Aquaman in Atlantis, I want him to repent and turn from his sins. That's what I want. How about that? I don't know. What is it called? Q knows German, so that means that you have white privilege. You have white privilege because you know another language. Black folk don't know other languages. Mariana Trent? Is that what's called? That looks like Maria Anna. Ah, man. See, I don't know Aqua language either. See, because it's part of my black privilege. I don't have to know. I don't know how to say it. I don't have to say it correctly because I'm black. So I can say Mariachi Trench and keep it moving because I'm black. Bang. See, it's my black privilege. And see, it's your white privilege that's correcting me because you are pressing my inability to know a language. There you go. What? Brian, what in the world? Why do you know 3 languages? Why are you being a greedy language hog? I don't understand it. Yes, you are oppressing me because I only know one. And many people argue that I didn't even know that one. What? You know Spanish? This cannot be the case because according to Pegs, only white people know other languages. How dare people of other melanin contents know other languages? Don't you know that you should not? Did you not get the memo? How dare this be the case? All right, let me see. 20. Let's just go to 20. I can. This is what people say when they're talking about the invisible knapsack. This is what they're talking about. I can easily buy posters, postcards, picture books, greeting cards, dolls, toys, and children's magazines featuring people of my race. So she's saying that when she wrote this, let me double check. It was written in August 1989. Are you trying to tell me that there were not teen magazines in abundance featuring black artists? Are you trying to tell me that? Because I had that Sheila E. poster on my wall as a young lad, which I had no business having that poster on my wall, but it sure was there. And she was every bit of black. What are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. Like, you just want to be a victim. You just want to be a victim. If you embrace the invisible knapsack, you just want to be a victim. All right. Okay, Jason, is there another one? I think I'm done with this thing. I'm just so sick of it. It's stupid. Let's go with 9. I can go into a music shop and count on finding music of my race. What is music of your race? I would love to know that. Now, granted, I know there's not record shops anymore. I understand Tower Records is closed. But what is music of your race? What is that? If you embrace the white privilege, the invisible knapsack of white privilege, this is what you're embracing. This is your peeps, man. This is your people. I would highly recommend, as just the, causing trouble here, I would highly encourage you to disregard this foolishness and embrace Christ. I'm just saying. I can go into a music shop and count on finding the music of my race represented into a supermarket and find the staple foods which fit my cultural traditions. Okay, let's just start a fight. And I'm not, Berean babes, you cannot talk because I know you're going to have some kind of commentary. What is cultural traditions of Black Americans? What is that? Are you trying to honestly tell me that Black people can't find chicken in the grocery store? Are you honest with trying to tell me they don't sell collard greens, neck bones, black eyed peas? This is dumb. If you follow this, this is what you get. This is retarded. Into a hairdresser shop. I'm just going to stop. I'm not going to even read the rest of that. That woman said you can't go in a hairdresser shop and find. I'm just done. I'm done. I'm not going to comment anymore on it because it's stupid. DearWokesy@gmail.com if you have a concern, question, or comment. If you want to complain to management, I'm sure they will listen to you. Wow, that was dumb. Man, I was just going to sit around here and just talk for a while. I was just going to talk and chit-chat and make sure my mic sounds nice. That was it. Yes, she's a language snob, whoever it is. I don't even know who you're talking about, Mary, but it might be Berean babes because she knows 3 languages. It might be this lady who doesn't know any other languages, Peggy, who thinks that, my beloved was Greek, very lovely shade of latte, and fluent in 11 living languages and 3 dead languages. Does that count? That counts as oppression. That counts as oppression, baby donkey. That is oppressing me because that's 13 more languages than I know. And I feel oppressed. I feel set. You know what? I think everybody should buy me a coffee to deal with my pain. Link down in the bio. What is music of my race? Okay, music of my race is mariachi. Okay, let me look this up because y'all keep judging me. What is the name of the trench? All right, what is the deepest trench? It's the deepest trench in the deepest trench. Y'all judging me, man. Oh, it is Mariana. It is Mariana. Okay, well, okay. So you were right. But that looks like Maria. Maria Ana. That's exactly what it looks like to me. Maria Ana Trench. I like mariachi trench. What's the mariachi trench? All right, so yes, you are correct. Whoever said Maria Ana, and I said it didn't look right, I apologize. Please forgive me. Accept my sincere condolences. Yes, it was you. I think it was you, Mary. I apologize. But I still think mariachi trench is funny. I have no idea where I got that from. I thought that was the name of it. Anyway, Aquaman, wherever we find people there, I want them to accept Christ and let go of their burdens. They don't have to deal with this foolishness. Peggy be lying to us. She does. She'd be lying. Just straight lying. Oh, here it is. Yes. Mary, you are correct. I apologize. Q, some German, so that means you're some bit using your privilege. So you're just oppressing me. You're oppressing me because I don't know any other languages. Oh, I like that, Mary. Substitute the word sin every time she says privilege, and it works better. You know what? I might actually go through and edit that and change it every time she says it and say sin. Now that I can get behind. I can support that. All right. Life of a Servant says these stories are often made up or misrepresented because of the conditioning of their mind. People are taught to see racism any and everywhere. Absolutely. Because again, I would just ask the question, what was the ethnicity of the police officer? Are you trying to tell me? Because God have mercy, if it was a black police officer, then that story would definitely hit a flat tire. So yeah, like, you just want these stories to be true. You want them to be true. You want there to be issues and problems and such. And guess what? I'm not going to play your game with you. I don't have to play. You don't have to play with them. You can say, nope, I don't want to play with you. I don't like you. I don't want to play with you. Get off my grass. Dear Will Christian, K. Smith is sending her check dues on the 1st and the 15th. Okay, it's 6 days, so make sure I get that. Make sure I get that check. Make sure for your dues, absolutely. Yeah, that was very well said, absolutely. And again, like, there is zero problem with asking more questions. Okay, you're saying that this was a racial issue. Okay, I got questions about that. No. I can ask questions before we start rioting because I need to be able to know that what I'm doing is a righteous reaction to an unrighteous action. So I need to know. I need to ask questions. So again, how do we know that that was a racial issue? Like, that lady wants me to believe that that police officer just rolled up on them and they ain't ask any questions. She got the hairstyle. You know good and doggone well that woman asked some more questions. So you know good and well that didn't happen like it did. It didn't. I'm sorry. And I actually saw somebody mention that case that she was referring to about the young girl that got arrested. I think this is it, Baby Donkey. Is this what it? The girl ran a red light and had possession of grass. I'm assuming you mean the wacky tobacco, right? She yelled and didn't want to be arrested and resisted arrest. She ended up not being charged, but no one said it was the cops in the wrong. And that was from the news. Again, I would have asked more questions. Like, you can't just say that without getting some kind of pushback. You deserve some kind of pushback for no other reason but to make sure that your story makes sense and make sure that you're giving all of the facts so that people can make the right decisions and move the right direction. Because you want somebody to respond a certain way, but you're giving them information that's not allowing them to do that. So ask yourself, why is that? Grace and peace, God's fancy girl. Good to see you, friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, y'all done got me all stirred up. I don't know what the Whitaker Talk Show is cooking in there. I hear my wife is in the kitchen. Sounds like something's happening in there. And it's funny, y'all can't hear it today. So that's good. I think the microphone made some adjustments to the mic, so hopefully y'all don't hear them clanging and banging like they usually are doing. Being half and half, my music would be mariachi bluegrass. Okay, Mariana Trench. Okay, I got it right. And promise you, I will not be bringing it up again. My music of my race is mariachi. Y'all are out of control, man. Look, I feel like y'all are oppressing me because I did not know the language properly and you all are making fun of me. I feel I need a safe place. I need to email management or something because I feel like you're picking on me because I didn't know it was the Mariana Trench. I have no idea why I want to call it the Mariachi Trench. It still sounds funny. I don't care. But I do want to say thank y'all so much. What's going on? Cruising YouTube streets. Well, I'm glad to see that you've made it to the suburbs. Good to see you. What has Mary said here? I laughed at April's reference to your cousin and them doing foolishness. April kills me. Well, I appreciate you, Katie. Thanks so much for going to buy me a coffee. Help me out. I do appreciate it. Oh, really? Mary and I are Hispanic. Picking on you is secondary. Well, see, can you do that though? Can people on the high melanin side pick on other people on the high melanin side? Is that okay? I don't know how the game is played, so I'm really truly asking. Is that bad that, intermelanated people are kind of picking and joking and jostling with one another? Because otherwise, I don't know how the game is played. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works. I have no idea how this works anymore. But you know what? I don't care. They can go kick rocks from here all the way to Neptune. I don't care. Kick space rocks. Kick them all. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate you laughing at my jokes. So I thank y'all so much because I really, truly told myself, I'm going to just be on here for about 15 minutes. I really, truly said that. And lo and behold, 1 hour, 10 minutes later, we're still here talking crazy and foolishness. So I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me. This week coming up, I have no new shows coming up. Prayerfully, me and YouTube are going to figure out our issues that we have so that we can get back in a good, loving relationship between me and Cupertino, because at the current moment, we have a bad relationship. And I've talked about that before, so we'll go and talk about it again. But I got some fun things I'm hoping to be able to reveal to you all real soon. Not only the Dear Woke Christian podcast channel, but something new that I'm working on off camera. So it'll be a non-camera related opportunity to tell you all about. So I'm looking forward to telling you about that soon. Just got to get some paperwork done. So hopefully that'll be coming up soon. And I can tell you all about that then. Besides that, please pray for the Whitaker Talk Show. Like I said, Big Girl is going to Boston in a couple of weeks. And actually, all of my girls are going away next Saturday. But then they're coming back, and Big Girl's going to Boston, and the little one's going to UGA. And I think I'm just going to sit right here and just be quiet and do some of the fun things I got coming up. But prayerfully, that will go off without a hitch. There's got a lot of stuff going on. I'm telling you, man, I'm going to need a vacation from the summer vacation. I don't even know how that even works, but craziness. So please be in prayer for them about that. Also, just continue to pray for our Christian YouTube content creators. There's a lot of them out there that are having a little bit of struggle as it relates to YouTube not being very gracious to Christian content creators. And a lot of them are running into some issues. I know that Berean Babes, I didn't know she was having the same problem that I'm having. Thankfully, she was able to get out of the sin bin. Prayerfully, I'll get out of the sin bin soon enough. But, just pray for your content creators. Keep them encouraged. So, check them out. Even if they don't mention anything's going on, just give them some encouragement. Check out their channels. Give them a like. You know what could always help? Just give a comment. Give a comment to all your favorite Christian YouTube content creators. So go to their channel, watch it. And shorts usually are a great way to do it because you can just comment. It's going to be a minute long. Just comment on it. Just let them know something, give them some encouragement, shout outs, whatever, and such like that, or long form videos, same thing. Just give them a comment. That really does help because it does show engagement on the channel. And at the end of the day, engagement is what YouTube uses to help determine whether or not they're going to push your video or push your channel or expose it to more people or whatnot. So that's a great way to help out. So pray for your Christian content creators. There's tons of them out here that's making great content. Pray for them. And then go to their channel and just leave them a comment. Check out 5 of the videos, leave 5 comments. I know it doesn't seem like a lot on your end, but on our end, 20 of you all going to leave 5 comments apiece. That's a lot of comments, and that's going to drive a lot of engagement and spike a lot of people's engagement and really encourage them, and then of course they're going to comment back to you. So then that's going to be just a good little back and forth. Somebody else is going to comment. So it helps out a ton. So if you want to help out your Christian content creators outside of praying for them, just, comment on their stuff. Just comment. They work hard to put out good content that glorifies Christ, makes much of him, and is encouraging and edifying and sometimes even entertaining. So just give them a shout out. That would be a great way. What did you say, Sporosky lady? Have to catch a replay, forgive me. Comment disappeared too. Oh, I'm sorry, what happened? I'm sorry if the comment disappeared. I didn't do anything. But don't judge me if I say mariachi trenched. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Sporosky lady, later on, we made some corrections. So don't comment about my inability to pronounce Mariana Trench. I don't know where I got mariachi from, but it's still funny. I don't care what you say. That's funny. So I thank y'all so much, man. Everybody, every one of you all for hanging in there, hanging in, dealing with me and my inability, my lack of language. I don't know language because I don't have the invisible knapsack. Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah. Most of the time, that's probably why. I don't think the comment section comes on until I stop the live. I think that's probably why. That's what I think. So if you commented on the live while I'm still live, I don't think that comment, I might find it in the studio, but comment right here. We got you. All right, what'd you say? Mariachi Trench is a hopping place to. See, I'm trying to tell y'all, man. See, so people feel me on the mariachi Trench. I need to start pronouncing it correctly. I don't know how many times I'm actually going to use this knowledge after this live stream is over with, but who knows? Somebody might knock at my door and ask me, have I ever been to Mariachi Trench? And then we're off to the races. And I'm like, hey, I know how to pronounce it. Mariana Trench, and bang. We're off to the race. We're good stuff. I'm just checking, make sure I didn't miss anything. Everybody, I appreciate y'all so much. You guys are the best. And so look for some new content coming up. I have been doing a lot more shorts. So hopefully, I just decided I'm just going to do some shorts until I get out of the YouTube sin bin, and then I'll start putting up some regular long form content on this channel. But, definitely check me out on Dear Woke Podcast. This will be popping up on Dear Woke Podcast this week as well. And oh my gosh, what are y'all talking about? The comment section, y'all, the live chat. What are we talking about? A sombrero? Okay. So I'm thinking this is it. So the Mariachi Trench is a hopping place, dude. Comes with a sombrero and rhinestone studded pants and a poncho. Wow, that place is serious. Please don't add a jumping bean avatar. This thing has gone off the rails. This thing has gone completely off the rails. But I want to say thank you again. I appreciate every last one of you. I hope you all know that I deeply, deeply appreciate your engagement, your comments, all the kind of shenanigans and hijinks that take place here on the live stream. Stop it, God's fancy girl. Don't encourage these shenanigans. Don't feed the shenanigans. I don't even know who Vente Fernando is. Oh, see, this thing is slid into the abyss at this point. It slid into the Mariachi Trench. All right. I really do appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. You are the absolute best. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you for the laughs. And, at the end of the day, I really hope that if you're dealing with somebody who is embracing this, white privilege and Black Lives Matters and all these other shenanigans, I hope that you will be encouraged and edified to just tell them, hey, time out. You don't have to live like that. You don't have to live a life of joyless, endless work, always trying, always lamenting, always unpacking, you don't have to do that. You can be in Christ and you can tell the rest of that stuff to kick rocks. And then very last thing I'll get out of here. What's going on? Love Agenda? Always good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man. If you know somebody who embraces the Black Lives Matters, critical race theory, social justice, white privilege, backpack ideology, and also has a deep love for God's word and God's people, could you please share with me that video? I would love to see how they marry those two. They have to have a deep, 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 deep embrace of critical race theory, social justice, Black Lives Matters, and the white privilege backpack sports Billy thing. But then on the same note, they love the church. They love God's people. They enjoy. I want to see how that comes together, because let's pull up Brother Rob. I know how Brother Rob does it. Brother Rob has a deep love for the church. If you don't follow the Love Agenda, go check out his channel. He does an excellent job. He's been having a great time over there. Because you know why? Because Rob loves Christ. And Rob loves God's people. And somehow or another, I don't know how Rob has done it, he's gone on this long in his life and he hasn't embraced critical race theory. He doesn't embrace social justice and Black Lives Matters and such of that nature. It seems like if you embrace Christ, you don't need the other shenanigans. You don't need the other foolishness. But, hey, follow Love Agenda. Check him out. I think he does a great job. Yeah, I don't think it maths, but hey, I'm putting a challenge out there, guys, fancy girl. I don't want to assume that somebody can't make, 2 + 2 = negative 74. I'm not saying that somebody can't do it. I just want to know how they did it. And I would love to see it in real time. So maybe it's possible, negative 9 plus 14 equals pepperoni pizza. I don't know. I just want to see how it works. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Denise, that it's, mainly woke churches, but I want to give them a chance. I'm going to give them a chance. So if you run across one, dearwokec@gmail.com, let me know. I would love to see it. Like, how do they do that? How do they marry the two ideas? I would be very interested in seeing how that comes together. I don't know. See, Mary's already saying right here, it's not Christ in anything. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I'm giving him a chance, though. I'm going to see how you try to pull this off. But I got this feeling I'm not gonna rush to go check my email tomorrow. Not for that, at least, because I don't think there's going to be anything in dearwokec@gmail.com for that. Because as you said, God's fancy girl, that math ain't mathing. I love it. Thank y'all so much, everybody. You all are the best. So let's, if you don't mind, could you like this video on the way out? If you haven't already, check it out. Give me a little thumbs up or whatever. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate y'all so much. But above everything else, even if you don't like the video, you know what? If you don't like the video, if you didn't like this video, hit the like button 3 times. That's a great way to let me know that you didn't like the video. All right, just hit it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. There, that'll fix it. But I do appreciate y'all so much with this breaking down the Mariana Trench for me, because I didn't know that. So now I know something new. What? Wait, I feel like I missed something. Like when they say my sisters and brothers, particularly black. Like, yeah, why do that? Why do you do that? See, it's doing too much. Everybody, thank y'all so much. I'm going to figure out if the Whitaker Talk Show's cooking in here. I think I actually hear my wife leaving, so that's kind of weird. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully she ain't burned something inside to go get pizza. Anyway, everybody, you all are the best. Thank you so much. I'll see you all this week, Lord willing. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Take care.